That was the proper outro. We could just use that as our outro. You can cut that together.
Do your funny one.
Oh, do you mean like the...
No, as in like, and it's goodbye.
All right, okay.
Yeah, do your funny one.
Do a funny. Do the funny.
Be funny. That's what you're here for, bitch.
It's the final week of the Zombie Trilogy, and we're still not doing Shaun of the Dead. This is not a Shaun of the Dead episode. Sorry. Welcome to the Three Takes of Stupidity. This week, it's not Shaun of the Dead, again. It is the Brad Pitt film, World War Z, and he desperately wanted this to succeed. I'm joined by Chandler Monk.
Hello.
James Robbins.
Yeah. Oh, voice break.
And I'm Alex Clinton. James, feel free to do your hello again if you want to.
Hiya.
And use the old one, Chandler. It's time to nut up or shut up.
Why are you using that line?
I said last week.
Because you wanted it last week and we're using it again.
Nice. You couldn't think of something else, could you?
No.
Mother Nature's a bitch.
Again, this is not Shaun of the Dead.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think zombie films are meant to be watched back to back to back to back all the time, unless you're really, really into that sort of thing. So to break that up, what have you watched in the last few weeks? No, last week really, because Alex has barely been watching anything recently.
That's not true. That's not true. I am elbow deep in a new series of 24 Hours in Police Custody. That's very good. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's on the BBC. 24/7 Murder, I think it is. Which is that one's good, but it's not as good as 24 Hours in Police Custody, because at the end of the BBC one, they clearly run out of money, so they just end it with just graphics on the screen where it's like, they went to jail for 3 years, this one went to... And you don't actually get to see like the actual interview, whereas in 24 Hours in Police Custody, 48 hours? So much time in police custody. You see every interview, from the no comment interviews to the no, well, I can't have done it, and you're like, So yeah, there's been some particularly shitty human beings on recently. So yeah.
Talking of shitty human beings, something I want to discuss with you guys is, so you know how I mentioned on the podcast a couple of weeks ago that I bought a bike for a stag do?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? No. Was this one of the ones while I was away?
So
No.
Oh, it might have been, actually. So anyway, no, it was while James was away. I bought a bike for a stag do, and then the reason I bought it instead of borrowing it off someone I knew is because I was like, right, I'm going to buy a bike, I'm going to invest in it, and then I'm going to use it every day. So I started cycling to the gym every day, which I began to really enjoy it. And now, but the other day...
Please, I know where this is
going.
So
the other day...
I really enjoy this.
The other day, one of my pedals broke. This is crucial to the story. So I went and bought a new thing of pedals from Halfords for like 14 quid, and then the next day came down in the morning before I went to the gym to fix the new pedals on, and went into the bike shed, and my bike had been stolen.
Aww.
It's really sad. Me standing there with a spanner and two new pedals. Which, for people who are just listening to this, I'm holding in my hands because I have no bike to put them on now.
Just for our listeners, yeah, they are not attached to a bike. Can confirm they aren't attached to
a bike.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Just this.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, that's so funny.
Do you guys just have the image of me standing in front of the the bike shed of me with a spanner and two pedals and just going, where the fuck's my bike?
Just in tears in the doorway.
No, I think it's funny because I don't think Chandler was like super upset, but just minorly upset plus inconvenienced. And
so the really funny thing is when I wasn't going to report it, but my family and my partner basically told me to do it just in case, whatever. But if anyone's seen a grey Carrera Crossfire large frame bike in the Hertfordshire region in 2 days for sale, please let me know.
Please, if you could stop laughing for 5 minutes and tell the police.
Chandler, I beg of you, and
No,
I absolutely really beg of you, but can you do a dramatic reenactment like a crime show, please? Of you going downstairs and being gone.
Should I put that?
Please.
Should I put that in my TikTok? Should we put that on TikTok?
Absolutely. Please do that. That'd be so funny.
But anyway, when I was on the phone to the police and reported it, they were like, "How have you been inconvenienced by this? Like, what did you feel?" I just went, "It's pretty pissed off, to be honest." What else do you want me to say?
I'm really annoyed. They took the thing that I used to annoy everyone else out on the roads.
They took away my cardio.
Yeah, exactly. They took away my cardio. That's the main thing I'm pissed off about. I hadn't told you guys because I was like, I'm waiting. I want to hear your genuine reactions on the pod.
Oh, that was beautiful. I'm so happy you did.
I'm sorry for laughing, but you told it in a very comedic way. I'm sorry you lost your bike. But I just know that you probably don't quite care enough.
No, I do. Like, I didn't spend thousands of pounds on a bike, but I spent enough money for it to be like really fucking annoying. And I started to really enjoy cycling to the gym and cycling home. It was a good little warm up and warm down, but it's never going to get found, is it? Let's be honest.
I honestly thought you were going to come out of Halfords holding your new pedals and it would be gone.
That would have been funnier, actually. That would have been a funnier story.
The pain is that it's been taken from the bike shed.
But yeah,
that's like, you probably thought they were safe. You probably thought that was fine.
Yeah, I looked it up. I locked the bike up. I locked my bike up. You can see they've cut through my lock.
Oh.
Have they taken other people's bikes?
No, annoyingly, there are other bikes in that shed that they've left.
Yours just looked the newest, probably.
Yours was their favourite.
Probably, yeah. But anyway, very quickly, I've watched. I finished The Bear season 4, which was fantastic. I think genuinely the whole season was great. The wedding episode was fantastic, made me laugh out loud.
I disagree on the whole season, but
you're wrong. The wedding episode was great, made me laugh out loud at multiple points, and the final episode, which was just like a play essentially, was amazing. Very much looking forward to season 5. James, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so I finished The Bear as well. I don't agree with you. The whole season was fine. I think it took a little bit of time to get going. The first couple of episodes really do feel like a collection of random scenes that don't feel like they belong together that much. They didn't drag the story forward. However, I loved the wedding. Wedding was really good. The camera work in it was quite cool. Everything was really tight. Obviously, a wedding's a big event, and I think it was, it's just focusing on different relationships within the cast. But that final episode was amazing. Just mostly 2 actors for the most of the entire episode, but max 4 in one space in a backyard. Just pure character performance. That last episode was excellent, and it was just really, really well done.
That's why I say it was like a play.
Yeah,
because it's just one room. And 4 actors. It was
but for an hour, even a play has scene changes, set changes, whatever, location changes. I know what you mean, but this whole episode was just driven through by script and performance, and it was exceptional. All of the performances were really, really good. And then I also finished Ironheart. The last 3 episodes came out, and it was good. The racist lost, which is great. It's rated quite well. It's not without its problems. Like there are some issues with it, but they introduce, spoiler warning here, they introduce Mephisto at the end. Sorry, Chandler, if you've not seen it, it was crazy.
I've not seen it, but I knew that was happening because it was all over social media.
And
a lot of memes about it.
Really, really cool. The problem is Disney and Marvel have changed kind of how they're moving forward with TV shows. And this is a part of the old setup, so we're really in the dark of how they're going to continue this story, which, to be honest, really needs continuing. And I thought Riri Williams was a really cool character. I was worried how they'll handle her after Black Panther 2, where she was all right, but nothing special in it, to be honest. And that film wasn't fantastic. So, yeah, pleasantly surprised at how good that came out. I think it's kind of around 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm pleasantly surprised. Thought it was going to be really bad. Thought the racists were going to win, but the racists lost.
Well, tune in next week to see what other battles the racists will win.
Unfortunately, they're winning a lot, so it's nice for you at least to have a TV show.
And James, how have you been finding that new bike that you got?
It's really good because my bike broke and I've not been able to cycle to the gym, Alex. So I just came across this brand new grey Carrera, and I've got my cardio back. It was just sat in a bike shed like someone owned it. Fucking ridiculous. Can you imagine if I actually had the bike?
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be the best fucking prank.
All right.
You said that with such a heavy heart. Yeah, that'd be so funny. Anyway.
To our subscribers, if you want to win a new pair of bike pedals, please put your comment in the description box. The best zombie-related comment could be funny, could be factual. Try funny. Let us know, and if you do the funniest one, we'll get some bike pedals sent out to you.
And a spanner.
Maybe you can fit them on your brand new grey Carrera.
Again, sorry for Chandler's loss. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers and 016107.
Alright, this week we are giving our 3 takes on the absolute zombie, it's not a classic, World War Z.
The movie that just happens.
This film is about former UN investigator Jerry Lane traverses the world in a race against time to stop a zombie pandemic that is toppling armies and governments and threatens to destroy humanity itself. This film got a 7.0 on IMDb, a surprising 67 on the tomato meter, and a 72% on the popcorn meter. First impressions, guys, what were your expectations of the film?
That is bang on. It's very much a 7 out of 10. James told us it would be rubbish, so I went in with the expectation that it would be rubbish, and that it wasn't that rubbish at all. I quite enjoyed it. I even turned off the tennis to watch this.
You love tennis.
Oh,
it's not as bad as I remember. I think living through COVID has made the film better. However, it's still pretty generic. It's quite tense, but yeah, definitely not as bad as I remember. I still think it's rated a bit higher. I think it's rated a bit higher than I would rate it, but
I would agree with you there, James. I'd agree with you there. I think this film isn't a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. It's nor a 6.7 out of 10 from Rotten Tomatoes. I did go in with low expectations, like having heard that this film is shit.
yeah,
It's not shit. It's not great. It's not good. It's just there, sort of vibes. It just is.
it's just the movie that movied.
Yeah, it's a movie at the movie. I will be honest. The film starts quite tense. Like the first scene in the gridlock, I think it is quite tense, quite a well shot sort of scene. There are a few things in that first scene where, you know, Jerry gets in basically they're having a normal day, Brad Pitt and his family.
Well, there's hints though. The hints are all really good with on the news. They're having a normal day, but there's clearly stuff going on in the world, and they're from a safe Western point of view, which is very apt with kind of our lives throughout our entire lives, watching stuff happen elsewhere, but then it coming to your doorstep. So I thought the tension was played really well, and they also don't show any zombies. So it's a shame.
I mean,
But they show like people running from stuff on TV, I think, and then they show that one zombie very briefly for a frame in the truck. And that's it, really. So it's a shame it's called World War Z and we know it's a zombie film.
Brad Pitt and his family are in a car, are in a traffic jam, and something's not right. People like motorbikes are flying past. There's an explosion out of nowhere, and they panic ensues essentially. So it starts off. I think that scene does build up well, and the tension builds up well. The first question of the logic within this film that I don't get is he sees someone on the floor and starts counting.
No, he doesn't.
And then goes, right, it's definitely as...
No, he doesn't. He doesn't start counting. It's the little teddy that he's holding. The teddy that he's holding from his daughter who drops it, who, by the way, we'll put this nugget out there now. His children are fucking insufferable. His daughter drops her teddy. He picks up his daughter's teddy, and it goes, let's count to 12 for some fucking reason. Who the fuck goes up to 12?
It doesn't...
Just plot. Plot.
Yeah, plot. This is when the writing wasn't great.
It just doesn't make sense.
No, so it just goes 1, 2, and then it eventually gets to 12, and that's when he fully turns into the zombie. He's like, it must be 12 seconds then. It could have been 15. He wouldn't have known.
I like it as a plot device. It's fun. It's not like that bad writing. It would have been nice if he throughout the movie we're led to believe that Jerry is an absolute Donny of a UN military man who's done so much in his career, and also he's very clever throughout the entire film. So it kind of does feel out of place once you see the rest of it for him to rely on a stuffed toy to make the counting thing for him when he's coming to conclusions all of himself throughout the rest of it, if you know what I mean. It doesn't really align with his characterization, is what I'm trying to say.
From memory, though, it plays a part sort of throughout. No one actually turns from memory within the 12 seconds. He just goes 1, 2, 3, and then gets to 13, and they're like, "I'm fine," and he's like, "Well, that's it. You're fixed."
Well, no, because in the film it's framed as the guy on the floor that's been bitten in that traffic jam after the van drives past. He's the one who's turning after those 12 seconds.
Yes.
But no way does he make that connection from counting with his fucking teddy bear.
He does. Because he makes...
It's mental. It's stupid.
It's
clever.
There is a point where Brad Pitt does some phenomenal just face acting where he just stands there and goes, 12 seconds.
That's just cinema, though. Like he that's helped him get to a realization. I don't think it's bad.
No.
What I should have said in the housekeeping bit as well is that this film is based on a novel called World War Z by Max Brooks, who is the son of Mel Brooks, who's a very famous EGOT winner. Yes, it is, Alex. I was just going to say you're stunned by that, Alex. Don't know why I'm speaking in this weird voice. But I feel like this is where you first get the sort of differences between the book and the film, because the book is actually written very differently, which we'll come on to later on in the pod. But yeah, the whole thing of him, like, it's alluded to him being like a former like army sort of Don, as you say, like when they do escape, and then he gets on a phone with someone who's obviously in a naval base, but we don't know who he is yet. And the first, it's just like the whole film is like plot exposition, and it doesn't really make sense. The only bit that makes sense in this first, the first 20 minutes, half an hour, is them going to the supermarket, and of course it's being looted straight away.
I would make
when they need to go there. They need to go there for the inhaler,
Asthma medication, yeah.
Yeah, for one of the insufferable children, as Alex puts it.
She's the less insufferable one, because her only insufferable moment is she has an asthma attack, and then they go to get the medication.
How dare she?
But she at no point is annoying, unlike her little sister, who throughout the movie, up until she's just dumped onto an aircraft carrier, is insufferably annoying. However, this film is just a series of chase scenes all mixed together, and you've just got various different guests with Brad Pitt. This film is Brad Pitt taking you on a chase scene. And by taking you, I mean his fellow different cast members. That's all it is. And the daughter is the early part of the film.
I'm really intrigued by what you said there, because I actually wrote down halfway through this film that this is literally like a video game, and each scene is like a level within a video game. Like you need to get the medicine so your family can survive. Oh, now you need to travel to South Korea, and now the next level's in the Middle East, and now the next level's in Cardiff for some fucking reason.
Now these are
it just felt like a video game.
These aren't surprising things in a film. There's exactly what it's not that different. Zombieland, they are trekking, they're going on a literal journey, and it's definitely normal in these types of films. He does say at the start that you have to keep moving to that family. The daughter's insufferableness leads them. They go to an apartment block and then they're running through it, being chased by zombies in one of the many chase scenes in this film. But the daughter disappears, but she's just screaming at a door, not moving any part of her body. It's really bad child acting, just screaming, "Let me in! Let me in!" And this lovely family let her in. So it did work. Her annoyingness did work.
No, it only worked by chance. What would have been hilarious is if the door opened, it was a family of zombies, and they just eat her.
But I get what you.
It did scream to me. It did scream to me. This film would be Brad Pitt wants to overcome this because his family got killed. Like at every point, I was like, his family are dead. His family are gonna die. I was actually surprised that his family don't die.
I was really excited for his family to die.
Yeah.
But what I was surprised about is that as you say, they come into contact with this Spanish family who let them take shelter for the night, and Brad Pitt wants to save them. He says, "Come with us. There'll be space."
Yeah, he's like, "You have to move."
Yeah, and then they move to the rooftop, don't die somehow, but the little kid from the Spanish family manages to survive. Like, surely there is a scene out there that depict his parents dying and him somehow escaping, because it makes no sense that he does and his parents don't.
I imagine they give their life to let little Tommy. Yeah, little Tommy. I think it's Tommy. They give their lives basically to racist.
Thomas.
They give their lives to let little Tommy get to the roof, and then for some reason, from memory, he gets to the roof at the same time as his zombified father gets to the roof as well.
Maybe he was.
So
maybe he was sick.
They were like, makes no sense.
I'm gonna be.
Maybe
well,
he
no,
was sick.
because you could go further into the movie. We find out that there is such a thing as a cure, and there is such a thing as maybe.
It's not a cure. It's
a prevention.
It's not a cure
measure.
per se.
He might already have like polio and is just like clambering up the stairs, and they can't take him out.
Oh mate, you just opened up an entire plot thread where his family are major anti-vaxxers.
This kid's running up the stairs with measles, and all the zombies like, "Don't eat him. He's got measles. Don't eat him."
Wait, does this film as a whole with that so basically, look, we're skipping to the end. It does not matter that much. Basically, chase scenes in multiple different countries until a load of people around Brad Pitt die, but not Brad Pitt die. He doesn't die, and then they find out that if he realizes very quickly that if you have an ailment of sorts, i.e. a broken leg, or you're sick, or you're really old and gonna die, the zombies just ignore you. They just run past you. So, is this movie pro-anti-vax?
No, because we don't know what the ailment is. You could have a massive hangover, and they'd be like, "Not eating you. You're just gonna. You're unnecessary drinking. That's what you are.
Poisoned.
If I eat you.
You're poisoned."
Yeah.
So is this film pro hangovers? So should we all go out on the piss tonight?
I think it's just pro being massively unhealthy. They
It's
don't eat fatties
pro-crackhead.
either. There's no fatties, eh?
It's America.
there's no
That's
fat
like America then.
There's no fat zombies in this one. They're all pretty athletic and healthy.
Oh, that means I'll be fine in this version of a zombie apocalypse.
No, because you're hench. You're like 93% protein powder.
Excuse me. No. My bike's been stolen. I'm gonna get fat as fuck.
Your cardio's gone.
Not with your new pedals, you're not.
Yeah, like Chandler of 4 years ago would have been completely safe.
Brilliant.
But unfortunately, you got sexy and now you're zombie food.
You got sexy.
Please put in the comments if you think I'm sexy or not. So the other stupid bit about this scene, just bringing us back to the film, is, again, going back to this stupid counting bit, is Brad Pitt gets some in his mouth and then just runs to the edge going, okay, if I turn, I'm going to throw myself off
This was smart.
But why does he stop? How does he know for sure? How does he know for sure that it's 10 seconds or 12 seconds or whatever it is? It's fucking ridiculous.
No, because the nice thing about this film, which you see throughout, is that he's just testing theories the whole time. I like that he is constantly just learning. We're learning with him. He's like seeing things happen, and he's like, maybe that's what happens. Maybe, and there are little nuggets dropped. So this is the first theory he has, that it's the 12-second rule, where if he drops on the floor, he's going to be a zombie. And he gets to 13 and is like, I'm fine now. We can get on the helicopter.
Chana, you did mention exposition, and I'm just trying to find it in my notes, because I completely agree with you. There's a lot of moments in this film where I think they nicely show you something, but then only to, after they've shown you, describe exactly what they've shown you. Where the golden rule is show, don't tell. So they're clearly relocating people later on in the movie from the ship, because we know there's too many people on the aircraft carrier they go to later on. And then they're relocating people. We've had some hints to this because his family are there and the other soldiers are like, there's too many people on this ship. You shouldn't be here. They show us people leaving. We know there's relocations. And then they tell us straight after they're being relocated. I just don't understand why they tell us seconds later when they've done really quite well to hint throughout that they've done it. And that happens quite a few times in the movie as a whole, which I don't think they need to do. I think it treats the audience as too dumb at certain points, where it's not like, let's be real, it's not the most intellectual, mind-bending film out there, is it? It doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, but do you think if they hadn't explained it throughout, it would be this film would be remembered as like a Beautiful Mind kind of thing, where you have to watch it several times to be like, oh, what's happening here? Oh, those people look like they're being relocated. Oh my god, they must be being relocated.
No, because it's not. It's not that complex a story.
It's not that deep.
We're well versed in disaster films at the point of World War Z's release, and we're well versed in zombie films at the point of World War Z's release. And it's nothing.
Yeah, I would
It's
agree.
nothing like special in the genre.
Nah, I'm not opposed to it.
That's why, like, comparing this to the two previous films we've done, is where they don't, like, 28 Days Later does give you a scene at the beginning of how it gets out, and Zombieland doesn't, which I think Zombieland is better for, because, as James points out, we are well versed in those films. We don't need to see that anymore. We just want to know what these characters, how the characters we're being shown are dealing with it. And, like, you know, in the 2020s, like, version of Marvel, like Spider-Man, we don't care how he becomes Spider-Man. Like, we know he gets bitten. Like, you can just move on from that and just carry on. You don't need to retell the same story over and over again.
Yeah, no, and this film, to be fair, we never really find out where. To be fair to this film, we actually don't ever find out where it's come from.
No, you do. There's a moment where they put they put the radio on in the car, and there is that beautiful zombie movie / disaster movie moment where they turn it on at exactly the time the news bulletin's been read out, and it says that there has been an outbreak in Taiwan.
Actual plot of the film, they get to the naval base. We find out that Brad Pitt is actually some former UN investigator thing, and he's been to so many dangerous places, and he's still alive somehow. And he's basically threatened to. He's threatened. His family's security his family's safety is threatened if he doesn't go away with some good old British scientist, virologist, to South Korea to investigate a possible cure. So then he's like, right, you guys got to stay here. I'm going to South Korea with this fucker, which inadvertently gives us probably the funniest moment of a film I've watched recently, and that includes all the comedies, is when they get down to South Korea, everyone starts shooting the zombies, the scientist gets scared,
oh my god,
turns back, flips over and shoots himself in the head.
By accident.
It's so funny.
And they're like, he's dead.
It's so funny.
I love Brad Pitt stood next to him just being like, you bastard.
And he said, keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah.
But this is where the film for me becomes even sillier, because he's like, right, I don't know anything about medicine, but fuck it, show me what you were going to show this guy, and maybe I'll make the leap.
Yeah.
Scientific leaps in finding a cure.
But you say it's the funniest death you've ever seen. It makes sense. It's written by the son of Mel Brooks.
That is true, actually. That is a very good point.
Comedic gold.
Like, in this bit is like, we find, you know, one of the guys been dealing with his leg, doesn't get bitten, but so many other people do within the room. He's just standing there doing fuck all because he's got a dumb leg. We should never find out what the ailment was in his leg. No one ever explains that. He's just limping around. And then they're like, right, what was that, James?
Just maimed.
Oh, polio.
Yeah, he also had polio.
And then they're like, they're like, where's doing well in America? And everyone, he's like, I don't fucking know. It's all gone to shit. And then he's like, one place is doing well, Israel, which I found hilarious because they were like, they built walls, they're fine. And then he's like, right, we're going to fucking Israel. Instead of going home to his family, where he's like, right, they'll be safe because I've done what they asked me to do. Fuck it, let's go on a wild goose chase to Israel and find out what they're doing.
And then all of a sudden, it's not fine in Israel. They're not doing fine.
Yeah.
Very quickly, it goes to shit.
It's such a weird film.
The whole Israel segment is completely unnecessary because he goes there, finds out they built a wall, causes Israel, because some people see, he's like, oh, they've come over the wall now, you're all fucked. Leaves his pilot there, and then somehow gets on a commercial flight to Wales.
Well, the pilot leaves him, to be fair. The pilot fucks off him.
Fair to the pilot.
The woman who has her hand bitten, and then he just chops off her hand, and then starts going 1, 2, 3, and this woman's not going, why the fuck have you just chopped off my hand?
I think it's fairly obvious why he's cut off the hand.
Yeah, because she knew she had been bitten, to be fair.
Yeah, she's been bitten, and now he's chopped off her hand.
And then he screams in her face while she's probably not hearing anything because her hand's just been chopped off. She's in agony, and he's just screaming in her face, you're not going to turn! You're not going to turn! Like, yeah, I'm sure that's some mental solace, but her hand's just been chopped off. I don't think a lot's going through her head right now other than, fuck, ow.
She sat there with a nub.
There is one really interesting bit of dialogue that in this part in Israel is when the main, I don't know, Israeli politician, whoever the fuck he is, he's talking to, basically says we intercepted a communication from India saying, basically referencing the word zombie.
No one believed me.
Yeah, I was tasked with assuming that it was correct and like digging into it, and he calls it the 10th man like policy. Like, if 9 people think the same, then the 10th person in the room has to disagree and investigate it. That's actually a true thing that some governments do in like to avoid people just following the group and following group thinking. So people that governments don't just assume what everyone else would assume and assume other things, which I actually found quite interesting when I researched into that.
That's why Trump only has 9 advisors.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But yeah, moving on from Israel, they get on this commercial air flight from Belarus, which I don't know why I found that quite funny.
No, it's a Belarusian airline.
Yeah, Belarus.
Where were they going, though?
They weren't going anywhere.
Somewhere not Israel.
They make the point that they're just leaving. They're not going anywhere. Because I'm sure that the flight attendant or someone asks him, because he gets on the flight and goes, where are we going? And she goes, nowhere. Where do you want to go? And he's like, oh,
Wales.
Let me find out. Let me ring someone.
Like it's an Uber. An Uber.
Where do you think we should go?
I thought the stupidest bit is when they got onto the plane and the pilot takes the machine gun away from them. Like, that's a good thing to have. A gun to kill zombies with. Why are you throwing it away?
But leaves them with the grenade.
Yeah.
Again, the nugget that you get when they're in Korea, where the army man is walking around all the charred remains of everyone, is he says that sometimes it takes seconds, sometimes it takes minutes, sometimes it takes longer. I was just looking at the girl whose nub is just sat there hemorrhaging.
Yes.
I was like, she's gonna turn. She's totally gonna turn. I was just waiting for her to turn.
But that leads into this scene because I don't remember that bit. But in the plane, a zombie appears on the plane, and you're like, how the fuck did a zombie appear in the toilet? And it's like, oh, because it actually doesn't just take seconds, and the counting thing is gone at that point.
It's not in the toilet, is it? It's like a little dumb waiter, isn't it?
In the plane, I thought it was a toilet.
But either way,
I thought it was like a dumb waiter.
Yeah, I thought it was. No, I thought it was.
It's just a toilet.
But either way, it's someone who's not been bitten 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. And it destroys this counting thing. I guess it's like, how badly were you bitten? I suppose. How good's your blood flow? Oh no, if you have bad blood flow, you're not going to be bitten.
Are you saying? You saying the guy in the toilet had too much Mackies, and it was just basically just full of cholesterol? His heart is
no, you wouldn't get.
It's like
you wouldn't get bitten.
But that's the funny thing of like this scene. Film contradicts itself at quite a few points. But just going on, it just becomes another chase scene. Like zombies are now infecting the plane, and they're trying to build up all the luggage and everything. And he throws the grenade, and then everyone goes except our two protagonists and the pilots.
So, yeah, to be fair, they do strap down.
Yeah, but they weren't strapped down at the time he's throwing the fucking grenade.
So, I will say, planes can actually still fly with a hole in them. Fine. Because people have knocked the doors off, and they have to land soon, obviously for safety reasons. But you can be fine. So the plane crashing I was a bit like, it doesn't have to crash. Actually, glasses up on those.
Can you just hold up your air fucking pilot license to the camera, please?
I've just got a notebook that Emily got me from a show that's got Peter Pan on it. He flies.
Nice. I like that.
Part of a podcast that's called Three Takes of Stupidity. I think that's the stupidest thing we've ever said or shown to the camera.
I was looking around the room for something to keep this bit going, and my God, there's not a lot.
I think we should take a moment to acknowledge the great score of this film, particularly in this plane scene where the people get bitten in standard class, which is. Having flown quite a lot on standard class, there's a lot of people biting each other, so there's nothing out of the ordinary there.
I also really liked that scene. Everyone just diving over each other, and then some zombies strapped in was quite fun.
Yeah. But the score...
One person that was obeying the law.
Yeah. They were like, I'm going to keep buckled. If I unbuckle, the door might open.
The seatbelt sign is on.
I was making a really good point about the score.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
We've gone into this fucking zombie that was on Air India in seat 11A. It was like, I've never
hey, that's that one zombie that was alive. That was that one zombie that was alive at the end on the floor. It was him.
After the plane crashed, it's the one zombie sat there going, well, who's a dick now?
Look at all the brains I can eat now. Alex, please tell me about the score. Please.
I really enjoyed the music as it builds. I love a good drone as it builds to a crescendo. Just as like they're peering through the curtain and the one dozy fucker drops the suitcase. But also, I don't know how safe a barricade of just suitcases is, but I'm gonna say that would have been a pretty shitty barricade.
This is why the whole film is stupid.
Most hand luggage is normally limited to 5 kilograms, but no one checks the hand luggage. So let's say there's 10, 12 kilograms in there. You've got a fair few kilos there, but it's not exactly structurally sound.
It's business class, remember, they're paying the extra.
They're paying the extra, for sure.
Holy shit, imagine your final hours on Earth, you were sat in an airport terminal waiting to board. Because that's what they will have been doing. They've been waiting to board this plane as it was leaving.
Also, he throws the grenade, which is like great, and puts the hole in. there's a lot of people that haven't turned at that point, and it's with. I feel like there was another.
He's not wrong.
I
feel like
there were more
Preach.
opportunities in this movie to show that Brad Pitt will make the hard choices. That Jerry will do that, because he clearly will.
Instead of just killing a bunch of people on a plane.
He could have got 4 other people to buckle up and go to Wales.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. If you told people we're going to Wales, they'd be like, throw the grenade, bitch.
Oh, yeah, well, to be fair, then he sprinkled zombies and people across Snowdonia like fucking Salt Bay.
See, last week at the end of the podcast when I said it would be fun to do a shit film, this is what I was talking about.
I feel like this us talking about it has made it shitter to me. When I watched it, I was like, this is alright. But now we're talking about this is stupid. But like, it's not meant to be stupid.
They
right?
decide...
Sorry, it's not meant to be stupid. Like, this is the serious zombie film.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point. There are so many stupid moments in a serious zombie film.
Like, 28 Days was serious, but it was like low budget, early days of zombie films to a point. Like, not early, you know what I mean? Not really early days, it's well older ones. But and then Zombieland is playing off stupidity. This one is the big Hollywood budget, big actor, very serious. World War Z, sounds like World War 3, trying to play off real life a lot, but it's so dumb.
So just moving us into the finale of the film. So they get to Cardiff. I am glad that Brad Pitt finally gets injured. Like when he awakes from the plane crash, he's finally been stabbed by some shard of whatever metal, and I'm glad he's got injured because somehow he's made it through the whole film without being injured yet, which is ridiculous.
Because he taped a load of magazines on himself, so they can't bite him.
Yeah, which is smart. Again, to be honest, that is smart.
It is.
I'll be honest. Like, I'm gonna take that. If we ever go into a zombie apocalypse in real life, I'm gonna do that.
Do you know who survived a long time in this zombie apocalypse, specifically in World War Z?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, but no, dog handlers, police dog handlers.
Police dog handlers.
Just in their fucking suits.
That was a stretch.
Hey, that's essentially what he's done by taping also a thick magazine to his arm. Don't know what one it was. Because it was a hefty mag.
They're going to like a World Health Organization facility, which they get to, and which there was one bit about this film. So Peter Capaldi is in it before he's actually plays the Doctor. However, during the production of this film, he knew he was going to be the next Doctor, which is why he's credited as Who Doctor as a little in joke.
Ah,
that's funny.
That is nice. I love living in the same dimension as that has Malcolm Tucker saving Tyler Durden. I love that.
We also live in a world that Oppenheimer, in 28 Days Later, that Oppenheimer saved... No, sorry. The Doctor saved Oppenheimer. That's what I was going for.
Nice.
That took me a long way to get to. But anyway, just to wrap up the plot of the film very quickly, is Brad Pitt says his thing of, I think we need to camouflage ourselves with viruses that are easily curable so we can walk through the zombies. And they test this out. Another action scene, another chase scene, which I will admit, the tension is
you
there
have to
for
have
me.
them.
I'll be honest. I did feel the suspense during the final scene of the three of them trying to go get viruses to infect them and test it out. And it's obvious that he was going to have to test it on himself and go through the zombies himself to get back and all that. But it is quite suspenseful. It is well filmed and it is well done. I'll be completely honest with that.
But can I just point out, and I will circle back to this in my final take, the performance of the zombie in the vault. So basically he has to go from the main building into the vault. It's like similar to Jurassic Park when they have to leave the main building of the park and go into the little powerhouse. It's similar to that. The zombie performance in the vault by a man called Michael Jen is fantastic. is phenomenal. It's everything that his children's acting is not.
And it's not like that performance is amazing, and this, like, the way he can move his jaw was freaky. And I feel like that zombie performance he had to characterize the zombies, right? And he had to characterize them in the sense of wanting to go and spread the virus by biting someone, and also he had to show them in a dormant fashion, which we see them, and then how it reacts to someone that's sick, because they are aware of someone that's sick. It's a choice because he walks right up to him. It's a choice that the zombie doesn't attack him, right? Because they aren't going to be valuable to spread the virus. I completely agree with you. The way the subtle changes, because ultimately you're basically playing a wild animal, are really, really good. Really good. And to be honest, I did feel tension through a lot of the chase scenes in this, most notably the first one, when they're running away, we only see a few of the zombies. Then the one at the plane when it's dark and it's raining, that one, and this one were really, really good. Brad's not going to get hurt, but the tension's there.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. And then we get the final scene of him being reunited with his family. Like, they fly him back to... his family's been relocated to Nova Scotia, which is in Canada. And he flies back and does have quite a heart-touching moment hugging them. Even Tommy's still there for some reason. He's considered family now.
I think they'll nicely adopt him. Can we just point out how fucking nuts Jerry is to infect himself with some virus from a World Health Organization lab that handles major viruses?
No, but he is aware that he is about to die.
This is also set before COVID, where we trusted World Health Organization.
No, they were fine. It was Trump that wasn't fine.
Oh, I thought I was going to get a laugh at that.
Wrong podcast.
No, Chandler, it was a horrible time.
Yeah, he is aware that he's probably going to die, because that touching moment of him writing "Tell my family I love them" on the thing and showing it to the camera, which I quite enjoyed. I found that touching.
I didn't find that touching. He could have added some sort of emoji to it.
Love heart.
The weird thing about that scene that I found out that I thought about is they have it in the CCTV room. They have a joystick, which I assume is to move the camera.
Yes.
Why couldn't he have held up which viruses to take, and they could have moved the camera?
Yeah,
up
yeah,
and
exactly.
down
Why
and shake
couldn't
their
that
head.
have happened?
Yeah, that was annoying me as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead, he's just looking attentively at it, like humanizing it.
Yeah,
because I think
exactly.
I don't think he wants to make too many movements, because you see at the start of the film, the zombies' favourite thing to do in the whole wide world is to put their head through glass windows. This zombie hasn't put his head through a glass window yet, and you can kind of see it building within him, where he's like, there's just some glass right there. I just really want to put my head through it. So he doesn't want to make too many movements. doesn't want to annoy him that
much. So yeah, this is where I wanted to talk about. There was actually an original planned and written ending, which they did shoot quite, I think 10 minutes of footage for, but then it became too expensive, essentially. The funny story I'd written, when they were filming, I think a scene in Malta, which is the scene in Israel, they basically forgot to pay an invoice for all the extras, and they'd missed it, and it was hundreds of thousands of dollars, essentially. And that was we're just ridiculously over budget now, so we're gonna have to rewrite the ending, so we don't have any money to film this massive ending anymore. But the massive ending was that after the Belarus flight, they were going to crash in Russia, and Brad Pitt was going to have his phone taken away from him, and basically everyone on the plane was going to be conscripted to fight in the Russian army, and then have a massive battle in Moscow against the living against the zombies and everything, which they were going to win. And the film was going to end with basically intercut with scenes that Brad Pitt's wife had to start having an affair with one of the paratroopers we see that take them off the building in Philadelphia to survive, essentially. And it was going to set up a sequel where Brad Pitt lands on the west coast of America, and it's setting up him going to go fight for his wife back, and that was going to be the second movie, which after reading that, I think is the stupidest idea for a movie ending ever.
It's another turning man into the monster thing, essentially, which is fine.
Exactly.
We've just done that in film, both films to an extent, mostly 28 Days, but there were moments in I think mostly with Tallahassee in Zombieland. But that would have, when you imagine turning up to see a zombie film part 2 and ultimately like the zombies are a side piece.
Yeah, exactly.
What was he going to do in the second movie? Force his wife to leave the man she's having an affair with and just be like, you love me, while shooting zombies in the head while they're just nutting windows.
Is that the same ending where she was going to have to turn to prostitution that I read?
Yeah. So it was like, so I'll read it out here. Basically, the paratrooper who saves them from the helicopter in Philadelphia
is a pimp.
In the original storyline,
Para-pimp.
Wait, hang on.
Para-pimper?
In the meanwhile, Jerry's wife, Karen, spelt completely wrong.
Yep.
And their kids have been put in a refugee camp in the Everglades where people have to pay for goods. When Jerry is found in its long absence, it becomes clear that she has reluctantly started an affair with the paratrooper in order to keep herself and her children safe.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The paratrooper then contacts Jerry, warning him to stay where he is. Basically, keep your hands off my new wife. It's a fucking stupid ending. I'm really glad this film didn't end that way.
This is nice, though, because this is a look into a writer's room. This is just like people sat around drinking coffee all day, and some just guy at the back who's desperate to hang on to his contract just goes, I've got it. So she has an affair with the helicopter driver, and someone else is like, no, that's impossible. How about just a guy on the helicopter? Yeah, that works. Okay, and then what happens? Then Brad Pitt gets conscripted by the Russian army. Great, write it down. And then he fights for the Russian army, and then goes back and fights for his wife. That's brilliant. Write that down.
There's 2 reasons they didn't go with this film. One is because they ran out of money.
It's fucking stupid.
The second thing is Brad Pitt and the director were just like, that's fucking stupid. We've just done an hour and a bit of a proper character study of Brad Pitt's Jerry Lane and how he works and blah, 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 blah. And we're just going to end it with some massive action sequence. That seems dumb. And they were like, let's rewrite it. And then they came up with the ending that we obviously have in the film.
Do you think in the normal ending that we got when he goes and meets the family in Nova Scotia, and it's something we didn't actually touch on, but we did before we started recording, do you think he told his wife how many military men she inadvertently murdered by ringing him in the middle of a mission?
I hope that he brought it up when they were in the middle of an argument that he was losing, where she was like, "You're fucking, you don't do anything around here," and he was like, "You know, one thing I didn't do was murder 20 men."
You rang me. Rang me, you idiot.
Remember when I gave you the phone and said, I'll ring you once a day? Remember when you rang me?
And it hadn't been. I've been on a flight to Korea for most of the day, and there's a zombie apocalypse going on, and I'm going into the middle of it. What do you think is a great idea to start the iPhone fucking theme tune?
But while we're talking about different endings and everything, I think we should actually talk a little bit now about the book that this film is based on. As I said, World War Z by Max Brooks, because the book is completely different to the film. I think it is alluded to in some interviews that Brad Pitt isn't happy with how this film turned out because he made a production company just so he could buy the rights to this film and make it because he loved the book so much. But the film is nothing to the book, essentially, because in the book the protagonist isn't called Jerry Lane. He's actually a fictionalized version of Max Brooks, the author himself. But the film is set later on after the outbreak of the zombie apocalypse, and it's framed as Max Brooks going around the world and interviewing different people and their perspective about the start of the zombie apocalypse and their role in it and their role surviving and all that type of stuff. So the film, if you think about that, would have been based around, let's say Brad Pitt traveling around the world and interviewing people, and then the film being told in flashbacks, which I actually think would have been a more interesting way of repackaging this almost very generic zombie movie.
I would like that.
I agree. I think it'd be absolutely way more interesting. However, I think it leans more to a TV show than a film, because you can probably have less zombies. And I also think, so do you guys know The Witcher?
Yes.
So the Witcher books, especially the first couple of the Witcher books, are basically, they feature the Geralt, the main Witcher. The stories are about However, they are a collection.
Henry Cavill, Alex.
Who plays him in the show, and then Liam Hemsworth. In the books, they're a collection of short monster stories that are Geralt, and they're kind of all over the place in time, and they're loosely linked, and that's how they kind of roughly started the first series of show, where you don't really know where you are. There's a current reoccurring characters and relationships, but ultimately, like, it's a bit all over the place time-wise. It feels like it would have really, that kind of setup would have done well as a limited series. I think really, like, it almost becomes a little short zombie anthology from one world, which I think would be really, really interesting, really cool.
I'm not opposed to the TV show idea, but this came out at a similar time to The Walking Dead. Walking Dead's already up and running by this point, is it?
Yeah, this is 2013, I want to say.
Yeah.
And The Walking Dead, I think, is 2011.
Yeah, so Walking Dead is up and running. I think maybe that's why they didn't go with a documentary-based thing, because or mockumentary, I guess, because they're sort of doing that in The Walking Dead. It's a bit slower pace. They have the time in the TV show, whereas this can just be action, action, action. Israel has fallen. Action, action, action. Welsh Hills. Action, action, action. Peter Capaldi.
That's what I mean. I don't think
the best bit of the film.
I don't think a movie timeline. I don't think, and let's say this has film just under a runtime of 2 hours. I don't think that's enough time to explore enough in that kind of like travel around mockumentary format. I don't think you have enough time to have enough. Let's say you get 4, whereas a series you could have 7, 8 dedicated episodes to a different story in this world where there has been a zombie apocalypse.
I would love to see like some sort of Office World War Z spin-off where they're just walking around just trying to find the cure for zombies. Every now and again, someone gets bit by by a zombie, and they just turn to the camera and just give a deadpan look and just go, I'm
just surely the actual thing of it would be the thick of it with Peter Capaldi meets The Office meets Zombie.
Oh, you stupid cunt! You can't believe you got bitten. You've got bitten now. I look like a twat. Me, I'm a fucking twat. I should have the word twat written across my head. Right then, it takes time. Right, it's time for the takes. And coming out of James's big sack this week, the first person is... Oh, it's James. It's James himself.
No, I was first last week. So it's you, Alex.
The sack, it's the sack that we follow. It's the sack of truth.
We had nice orders previously. No, fine. This film. Take James Bond, give him zombies. Take Mission Impossible and give Tom Cruise zombies. Take Brad Pitt and make him James Bond with zombies. It's a film where you could so imagine Tom Cruise being like, look at all the stunts I did, and I'm a Scientologist, but zombies, and something like that. It's very generic, disaster film. Reminds me of 2012. Remember that film? Really reminds.
I wrote that down. You
2012.
Prick. I wrote that down as well.
It's disaster film. Cut and paste. Add what your disaster wants to be. There's helicopters where they're getting away from stuff. There's car crashes where they get away from stuff, and they're going to lots of different places on a family holiday. And the family is Brad Pitt with his family, and then it's Brad Pitt with some random soldiers that then die, and then it's Brad Pitt with all of a country that then gets destroyed because Brad Pitt's been there 5 minutes, and then he goes to Wales, and Wales is seemingly okay. At least the WHO World Health Organization's fine for some strange reason, but half their building is not fine. And then he meets his family at the end, and then you see that in some clips that the world is fighting back. Because they're all now camouflage, zombie camouflage. They're all John Cena to the zombies. It is. I hear you. I'm not gonna. This isn't my list yet, but you'll get it. But this is the worst of the 3. It's not a bad film. It's just not that good. I could steal Alex's thing, that he always says, but he's staring down the camera so intently that I think he might murder me if I say his little thing that I stole a few weeks ago. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I think the book, Chandler mentioned about the book format. I think that would have been really, really cool, just not for a film, because I don't think you'd have enough time, and I feel like the pacing wouldn't be great. But as a TV show, as I say, a zombie anthology series in a world post-zombie apocalypse would be really, really cool. And now The Walking Dead's on its way out, maybe someone else can make that. Yeah. Fine film. Don't go out your way.
Alex?
IMDb's rating of 7 out of 10 for this film. It is a 7 out of 10. I think the writing is what saves it, maybe. The fixing. I like it. The rewrites that took place, it's nice. People don't rewrite stuff and don't admit when they've fucked up. But they have in this case. However, I will give maybe a 1 or 2 of that 7 to the writing. The 5, I will, as I said earlier, I will give to Michael Jens, the Vault Zombie, who put in a marvellous performance with his little teeth chattering and his little sniffing of Brad Pitt. He's not gone on to achieve very much in his life as an actor, but this performance was a 10 out of 10, and definitely beautifully mirrored against his children being little shits and his wife killing at least 57 individuals.
I will say, this process of talking about this film with you guys is for the first time made a film worse to me. Because watching it was just a film, and then talking about you guys, it became just a stupid film.
So I will echo a lot of what James and Alex already said. The one thing I will not agree with Alex on is that this is a 7 out of 10.
So
this
not.
is much, much lower than
Guys,
a 7 out.
Collider.
This is much, much lower than a 7 out of 10.
Collider rated it a 9 out of 10.
That's dumb.
That's obscene.
So
They must have been off their face.
this film, I think what this film is lacking is pure, like, not like a reason to exist, but like a reason for it to step out of the generic zombie thing. Like 28 Days Later, I think, was quite a good representation of what a zombie apocalypse would look like in England, which is quite a different thing from all the zombie previous films. Zombieland is a satirical look at previous zombie films, which gives it a reason to exist and to watch. This is just generic zombie, generic disaster, generic hero, blah, blah, which is why I'm annoyed James stole my comparison of it to 2012, which again is just a shit, generic disaster film. I will admit, some of the acting's good, definitely not by Karen and his daughters and that little Tommy kid. Insufferable people and acting. Brad Pitt is fine. The people he meets along the way are fine. It's just fine. And I think the reason this film doesn't get a 7 out of 10 for it just being fine is because the book that it's based upon is so well revered and actually has quite an interesting take on giving you a zombie film / book narrative to read about, you know, the flashbacks, traveling around the world after the fact the zombie apocalypse has already taken place. So I think that's where this film really does a disservice to its audience and to people who have read the book. And that's why this film is a much, much lower than a 7 out of 10. It might not even be a 4 out of 10 because it's just stupid. It's just dumb.
Was Forster the director?
Yes.
So yeah, it's his fault because the writer wanted to do it like the book, and he was like, "No, I want an exciting action film," and he made them rewrite it.
So, boys, what are your rankings of our 3 zombie films?
I think this might be the first time that we all agree.
This is going to be interesting.
I am surprisingly going to say 28 Days Later on top of the podium, Zombieland, and then World War Z. I love Zombieland. It's probably it's up there for me, but I feel like 28 Days Later is a classic. guessing
James?
from the silence, no one agrees.
I think me and given both of our looks at the camera for the first time ever, me and Chandler might agree on something in our long friendship.
Are you putting Zombieland top? I was going to put Zombieland top, but I thought that you two wouldn't put Zombieland top, so I put it top to agree with you guys. I wanted to put Zombieland top, so let's just scrap that. We're all agreeing now. We've all agreed for the first time that Zombieland is on top. 28
We
Days
can
Later
agree.
is second.
I think What Was He is last. It's last. I think 28 Days Later is the more interesting, better film. In movie and cinema as a piece of art, 28 Days Later is a better film. But Zombieland is just so much fucking fun. I don't really care.
Here's the disappointing thing, boys, because for me, number one is World War Z. No, it fucking isn't.
This is why people take your bike.
When you get another bike, we're going to take it.
I agree. I think Zombieland's number one. It is clear and away the most fun to watch and rewatch, and it's just a fantastic film. It's a zombie film set in a different way and shown to you in a different way, which I think makes it top of the pile out of these three. 20 Days Later, I really enjoyed. I did not expect to enjoy it. I thought it was not going to be very good, but however, I loved it. I thought it was very, very good. I just wouldn't come back to revisit it as much as Zombieland. And yeah, World War Z is a far number three. It is shit and dumb. Do not watch it.
Yeah, definitely don't go out your way to watch it.
No, but Michael Jens needs the views. That was the final part of the Zombie Trilogy. Next up, we'll be doing something a little bit different. We'll be doing the fourth take on the zombies genre. So if you have any opinions, questions that we won't be able to answer, please send them to us. James, how are they doing that?
You can comment on any of our social pages or send us a DM. You can go to our hot page, which will be linked in the description, and leave a note on there, or you can email us at 3takesofstupidity@gmail.com. But honestly, please just send them anywhere. We'll find it. We'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, just send it.
There's not very many of them, so we'll get every single one.
Text Chandler directly. His number is 07572 384 5222 100.
Please do not do what many would suggest you do, which is Google the answer, because that will tell you the right answer, whereas we will tell you our answer, and which is much better. It's much better.
If you have any information on my bike, please do message that number that James said.
And remember, we'll be gifting the best comment 2 pedals and a spanner.
It's goodbye from Chandler.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from James.
See ya.
And it's goodbye from me. And before we go, the TTOS Agony Ant has these wise words of advice for you. Make sure you wear your seatbelt on a plane, regardless of whether the seatbelt sign is turned on or not. And make sure your phone is on silent and stop ringing people. We have WhatsApp now. Bye-bye.
Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast on your platform of choice. It really helps us grow. Make sure to follow us on our socials and our individual Letterboxd accounts. The links can be found in the description or at www.hop.bio/3takes or search for 3 Takes of Stupidity on most platforms. We're most active on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. Please send us your film and trilogy suggestions to our hot page on social media, or you can email us at 3takesofstupidity@gmail.com. Thank you and hope to have you back.